Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little minute since I've uploaded a video. I have been busy pumping out some videos on my other channel. If you have come to this channel off of the worldwide interwebs and didn't know that I have another channel, I do. I have a beauty channel, and I'm also in the midst of packing up my entire home and moving across the country. So there hasn't been a whole lot of time to film, sadly. So I thought I would go ahead and finally introduce you all to my two snakes. One of the reasons I waited to make this video is because I recently went through a divorce, and if you didn't know that, I will link that for you in the description box here. It's over on my main channel. But one thing that I wanted to say in this video about my snakes is that I had a snake when I met my now ex-husband Ryan, and he had asked me to rehome the snake because he didn't like snakes. And so I really was never able to have a snake because I wanted to respect that during our marriage, and now I'm single and I don't have to worry about that. So now I can have snakes, and so I have two. I have adopted both of them, and so today I get to introduce you to my snakes, finally. They're both pythons, and different species of pythons, of course, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this. There are actually 26 species of pythons, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on anything in this video. I do the best that I can researching everything and whatnot, but numbers are just different depending on what book you look at or what website you're reading. So everyone's opinions on like lifespan and things like that differ a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and go get the feistier of the two snakes first. You guys might even be able to see her bite me on camera because she's done it before, not on camera, but yeah, I think I posted on my Instagram story. I was like, yeah, and then she just bit me. So we'll talk more about her when I pull her out, so we'll go ahead and grab her. And I also wanted to film this video before my snakes are in their temporary cages from moving across the country. So that is gonna be a whole other just crazy adventure, just a motorhome full of animals. It's kind of my dream, but it's also not ideal for everybody. So we're making that road trip as short as possible. But without further ado, let's go ahead and grab Miss Mottely, my very first snake that I've had since the first one that I had a while ago. Yeah, that was so awkward. I'll be right back. Hello, Miss Mottely. Would you like to come out? She's like, no thanks, I'm good, right here. Hello, beautiful girl. Hi. Aren't you just gorgeous? All right, so I'm gonna just pull the whole dowel out. With these guys, it's best to come from behind. Wow, you're heavy, girl. Come from behind when you're pulling them out, or come from underneath when you're pulling them out, rather, but they're very sensitive, especially their tails, and just all their bones are very delicate. She just ate recently, so she's actually quite heavy right now. It's just not good to pry them off of their branch, so we're just gonna take this entire thing where we're filming. This is Miss Mottely. First things first, we are going to try and remove her from her branch. Let's see. Mottely, you match my dress today. So I'm gonna come from underneath and try and work her off her branch. Usually you can twist this a little bit, very slightly, and it will help, and you can rub them. She looks like she doesn't really want to come off this thing, so maybe we'll just let her be. Wrong way. All right, so this is Mottely. This is my green tree python. They can be found in Australia and different parts of New Guinea and the islands that surround New Guinea. They are sometimes confused with emerald tree boas. The large difference between the two is that these guys can be a bright yellow and maroon when they're younger, and emerald tree boas are not. And also green tree pythons lay eggs, and my phone's not on silent. I'm such a good YouTuber. Emerald tree boas actually they don't lay eggs, they have a live birth. So this is Miss Mottely. Miss Mottely just ate recently. She's very heavy. We matched today, Mottely, look at that. She's like not having it. She's like, it is so bright in here. So they are typically found in the rainforest. They're mostly arboreal, and they kind of move side to side on branches, hence the reason why I had these custom made like dowel holders and dowels in her enclosure. She's got 3 sets of them that are different sizes, and she pretty much hangs out and she coils herself up perfectly like a little rope, like kind of like right now. She's a little messed up since I had her on the bed, but I believe she is a sarong green tree python, because if you can see, she has this light blue that's all the way down her back and it doesn't break at all. And throughout a lot of my research that I did, that is a characteristic of a sarong green tree python, and that's just kind of like the locale as far as I know. So I adopted Mottely. Like, I actually went to the Reptilian Expo here in San Diego, and she was one of the only animals there that was actually for adoption and wasn't just bred to like be sold at that show. She is a little over a year old, I was told, and she actually has a wound on her head or a scar on her head over here. So I don't know really exactly what her story is, but she did have some sort of mouth and some sort of an infection with her mouth, and she wasn't able to eat. And so she ended up getting help, and then she was up for adoption at the show. And I just fell in love with her. I just think that I've always thought these snakes were so beautiful, and I'd always eyeball them at the pet store. And whenever I'd go to like Triple L Reptile and stuff, and Ryan would I'd send him pictures and he's like, absolutely not. So I could never have one. And now I've got Mottely, and she is just so gorgeous. They do have somewhat of a bad rap for being a little bit snippy, and she actually is a little bit snippy. She's bit me before, and it probably won't be the last time either. So she's, I just chalk it up to her being somewhat new. I've had her probably for like 4 months now. I'm terrible with time, but probably about 4 months. She's a really pretty girl. I think she just felt threatened when she bit me. I also made the mistake of touching her head, and she didn't really like that. But it's kind of hard not to. She's like so cute and so pretty. I mean, look at that face. I mean, she's gorgeous. The average length of this snake is around 5 to 6 feet. They can be up to 7 feet. Typically the males are a little bit longer than the females, and Mottely is a female. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about the green tree python, and they live around 20 years. I was trying to figure out whether that's the same in captivity as in the wild, but I really couldn't find 2 numbers for both of those. So I just kind of know that they live around 20 years. So I have a lot more time with Mottely, which is awesome. She's only about a year old, so we had so many years to hang out and opportunities for you to bite me, right? So she is doing really well, and she is just absolutely beautiful. I wonder if I can get her to come off of this thing for you guys. I kind of wanted you to be able to see her in action a little bit, but she doesn't really seem like she wants to come off this thing, so I don't really want to make her do anything she doesn't want to do. Do you want to like slither around on me or something? What do you think? No? You're fine right there? Okay. All right. I think that's all we're gonna get from Mottely. But here is another look at her. She is so gorgeous. And here we have Noodle, my ball python. And as you can see, he's doing what ball pythons do. They curl up in a ball when they are a little scared. His little head is right there. He is such a sweetheart. Oh, he's starting to come out. I adopted Noodle probably like 2.5 months ago off of Craigslist. Hi, beautiful. Hi. Hi, sweetheart. He looks to be like a butter ghost morph of a ball python. Now, I personally am not really into morphs. I think they're beautiful, but I'm not really kind of into all of the differences with those. He was actually adopted to me as a Mojave butter ball python, I think, and then someone else said to me on Instagram that he looks like more like a ghost butter ball python. So maybe if you are really good with the morphs, you can kind of take a look at Noodle and tell me what you think. But Noodle just turned 2 on June 4th, and he is such a good boy. He's so beautiful. Ball pythons are also known as royal pythons. Huh, aren't you beautiful? Yes, you are. You didn't eat dinner last Friday, did you? Are you hungry? We'll try again tonight. The natural range of the ball python is Western Africa to Central Africa. They can be found in, you're making your lip all funny. They can be found in the base of like termite mounds or the hollows of stumps. So typically when you have these as pets, you don't really see them out a whole lot. They kind of only roam around at night when they are hungry, looking for food, or just kind of maybe out and about randomly. But yeah, I don't see him a whole lot unless I pull him out to say hi to him or we are feeding. But when I do pull him out, he's super, super sweet. He's a great temperament. And that's one of the reasons why ball pythons are so popular in the pet trade, is just because of their pretty docile disposition. It's pretty rare that a ball python will bite you. They might do it in rare cases if they feel threatened, but typically they resort to curling up in a ball like he was when you saw him when I first pulled him out. Female ball pythons are typically a little bit bigger, getting around up to 6 feet, but it's more common to be around 4 to 5 feet. And the males tend to be slightly more slender than the females as well. And they usually have a bit of a smaller head. Look at that face. Look at that face. Ball pythons are also the smallest of the African pythons. I've told a couple people, they're like, oh, what kind of snake do you have? And I'm like, oh, I have a ball python. And they're like, aren't pythons like giant? And I'm like, not ball pythons. They don't typically get that big. He should probably stay around 3 to 4 feet, maybe even, yeah, probably about, I would say 3.5-ish. Are you all excited now? Interested? You wanna explore? Generally, ball pythons live for about 10 years in the wild, and I've read that the oldest recorded ball python in captivity was 47. So I don't think that that's super common. I think it's more common around 30 years. But yeah, one of them actually lived to 47, which is crazy. He keeps rubbing his little face and lips on my fingers. Another cool fact about pythons are that they are actually constrictors. So when they go after their prey, they will wrap around them until their prey suffocates, which is a very slow, painful death. But thankfully, I made sure when I was adopting my snakes that I only got snakes that were already kind of raised up on frozen thawed. I could not do live. I don't think it's safe for them. And I mean, if you can keep them safer and not have to scare poor rodents, and just, I couldn't do the live rodent thing. If you do, more power to you. I just personally, it wasn't really an option for me. That is Noodle, and I don't know if I'll be adding to my snake collection, but I just wanna take some time to get to know these guys and learn more about them, and I just think they're fascinating. They're just so beautiful. His coloring, I mean, just take a look at him. This little guy actually has a little scar on top of his head right there. I don't know if you can really see it, but when I adopted him, he was actually in a tank with another snake, which you really shouldn't do. Snakes are not really meant to be housed together. So it looks like the other snake might have bit him on the head and caused that little scarring right there. He's got like the prettiest eyes. I don't know if you can see how pretty they are. They're like a steely gray blue. And Noodle is exploring over here. He's like putting himself to bed. He's like over our shit. So those are my 2 snakes. I'm so glad I finally got to introduce you to them. I feel like I did kind of like unofficially. I did a feeding all my pets in one video, which I can link you guys to in the description box as well. You guys seem to really like that video, but I fed both of my snakes in that video and I felt weird about it because I was like, I haven't even introduced them to you guys yet. But there you have it. That's Mottely and Noodle. Let me know if you guys have any snakes in the comments below and what your experiences with them are. What are your favorite types of snakes? Should I explore and get into some other ones. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like a newbie to snakes again, all over again. So any information, tips, etc. that you guys have, you can please feel free, can't talk today, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. Someone is calling me, it's Ryan. All right, I'm gonna grab Noodle to make sure I don't lose him, answer Ryan's call, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.